Tell me if your to-do list looks sort of like this. Not exactly, but maybe just as long. Edit videos for 2 hours. Write for 1 hour. Film new episodes of MRI TV. Film the last 24 episodes. Write blog posts. Check email. Write blog posts. Check email. Landing pages. Manuscript. Work out for an hour. Landing pages. Coaches. Work out for an hour. Create videos for coaches. Curtis and Nikki for the weigh-in. Groceries. Editing. Curtis and Nikki for a weigh-in. Groceries. Editing. Practice for an hour. We all have to-do lists that can seem like they're overwhelming, and a lot of us seem to ask and wish that we can have more time. But in reality, we all have 24 hours. Just like Beyonce, just like Leonardo da Vinci, just like Charles Darwin, just like the Pope. What up, everyone? You're watching MRI TV, the place to be to learn strategies on living your highest potential through the mind, body, and spirit, all while having fun. And today we're going to be talking about how to trim the fat from your to-do list. So there was a recent infographic released from InfoReTrust sharing the creative routines from amazing individuals such as Charles Darwin, Mark Twain, Ben Franklin, and a bunch of other amazing individuals. And it got me to reflect on how I spend my days, because these guys had the same 24 hours I did, but they still managed to accomplish amazing things. And some of us may have our to-do list sometimes seep into our days. There are moments when we're with our significant other and we end up checking an email, replying to a client. Or we may be at work and we're stressing out something that's happening at home. That's where the problem can start. When our to-do list starts taking away our focus from the present moment. So how do we get everything done? In reality, you probably can't. There will be some pretty good days where you manage to get everything on that current day's to-do list, but not every day is going to be like that. It's almost like asking LeBron and Kevin Durant to score 50 points and win every single game. It's just not going to happen. A recent interview I did with a life coach and actor, Ben Whitehair, he shared something that I thought was extremely profound, which is we all overestimate the amount of things we can do in one day and underestimate the things we can do in a year. So I believe it all came down to this: consistency and quality. We all want these big bangs of accomplishment where we complete this whole mound load of stuff to do, and we want it to get done quickly. But that's not exactly the path to producing great results. If you want it to get done quickly, sometimes you may have to sacrifice the quality of your work. So how do you start trimming the fat from your to-do list? First thing I want to share with you guys is that you schedule time for it. All the creatives in that infographic shows that they carve out time for the things that they want to do. Whether it's spend time with family, go on a walk, exercise. This is way even before exercise was a thing. And of course the things that they love doing, which is either writing, composing, being a scientist. I know that we all have jobs or family or whatever schedule it is, but if you really want to accomplish something, we got to carve out the time for it. And if you're really pressed for schedule, there's a video I shared on the 2-minute rule where all you need to do is 2 minutes to just get started on whatever project it is. Okay, 2 minutes is better than not doing anything at all. And if you have the luxury of a little bit more time, 1 hour a day is ideal for completing any sort of project. And once you schedule the time for it, and you're in that space of that carved out time, ask yourself these two questions. What's one thing that I can do on my to-do list that'll make me happy? Or what's the one thing I'm avoiding? Because even if we get that one thing done, if it's the one thing that'll make you feel happy, at least you'll feel fulfilled and successful. And if you've managed to complete the one thing you're avoiding, more often than not, the thing we're avoiding is the thing that will give us the hugest progress. And the third thing is delegate. I know, especially with technology today, there's a lot of amazing things that we can do, but we're not superhuman, we're not Superman, we can't do everything on our own. We may try, but that's just going to lead us up to burnout equaling less than extraordinary results. If you have friends, family, or even a little bit of money to outsource to someone, do it. One of the lessons that I learned from one of my mentors is that if there's someone that can do it better than you, give it to them. Pay them if you have to. So I'm only one person, so if I know someone can do it better than me and they have the time for it or I can afford it, then I give it to them. So this includes editing, book editing, and email filtering. The fourth step is set a deadline on your calendar for it. Some of these things on your to-do list need a lot of time and some don't. The key thing is that if it isn't written down, then it doesn't exist. A lot of us tend to, when we make these so-called to-do lists, we sort of leave it in our heads and assume that our brains will somehow remember it, when in reality, some of us can't even remember simple things from last week. The fact of the matter is our brains aren't wired to do that. The way I do it is I prioritize on the things that need to be done soonest. Work out for an hour today by 3 p.m. Or another example is finish filming videos by the end of the month. What matters is that you set a deadline for it and you work your butt off to get there. And my one key thing here is that you don't be attached to the result. Focus on the quality of the work that's going to get you there. The hugest mistake for a lot of people do is that they get overly attached to the result, at that they lose focus on what they're doing. And there are scenarios when the deadline comes and people don't have the product finished, they sort of beat themselves up over it. And it's not a matter of getting it done, it's a matter of who you are in the process. So what it looks like when you're overly attached to the result, you can achieve, say, I don't know, a huge amount of money, but you can be a jerk because you're so focused on the money that you forget about the relationships you need to cater to, or you just end up being a taker and using it. Or you can still achieve the same goal, and I know a lot of people that are making a huge amount of money, they're not coming from a place where they're attached to the result, they're more attached of how they're going to help other people and change lives. That's focusing more on the process in order to create the result. And if you don't happen to hit your deadline, that's totally okay. You can either choose to recommit and keep going, or you can just take a break and do something else for a while. But either way, if you take a look back, you made a whole lot more progress than compared if you did do it at all. And the last thing is be consistent. Being great doesn't equal doing big things and doing amazing accomplishments some of the time. It's about doing the small things right and well all the time. Leonardo da Vinci took 4 years to complete the Mona Lisa, and it took Michelangelo just about the same time. So what matters is that you don't not only show up, but you show up and put in the work. And that all starts with carving the time, being clear with what's going to make you happy or what you're avoiding, delegating what others can do better than you, setting a strict deadline of when you're going to accomplish it, and being consistent, showing up every single day to get it done. So before I go, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys do to trim your to-do list without feeling overwhelmed? Let me know by sharing your wisdom right down below in the comment section. And while you're at it, make sure you head on over to the blog if you're not already, and subscribe to my free newsletter so I can give you guys insight and more beyond Emroy TV. And if you like this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who you think might benefit from it. And if you want to connect, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or over at the blog. And remember, we're all called to greatness, whether it's the lowest point of our lives or the highest point of our lives. From moment to moment, we all have the choice to live our highest potential. But at the end of the day, it's really up to us to choose. The world needs your greatness to shine. Thanks for watching Emroy TV, and I'll catch you guys next time.